If you're not Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Chosen Wisdom, and today we are here to talk about Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Jadon Sancho. Now, on this channel, we usually stick to or make content about the football match. We like to talk about the game, analyze the game, review the game, talk about what went wrong within the context of the match, and to just focus on football. Just focus on football. However, today I think I need to expand my content and just leave you guys with my opinion on what's going on in the football club with regards to the ownership of the club, where the football club is going in the future, the takeover or the purchase really of 25% stake by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, what that means for Qatar, how I feel about that, and also give you my opinion on the whole Jadon Sancho fiasco. And I understand how PR works. I understand how manipulation works, and there's a lot of PR being spun like crazy on the internet about these two topics, right? And the thing about me that you need to understand is that I do not like to be manipulated by anybody. I like to understand the facts and give my own verdict. I do not like people tell me to be angry at somebody. I do not like when media, newspapers, or whatever it is tries to tell me to hate somebody just because. Give me the facts and let me make my own mind up. I cannot stand the way we are all, including myself, manipulated by the people who have power over us to give us information or withhold information or spin information in a way that moves us left, moves us right, moves us up, moves us down. That's kind of what we are as consumers in this land of consumerism. So I think I need to give my opinion on what's going on and the state of the football club in general, despite the fact that this channel really focuses on just football. We're going to have to talk about it. To set the scene, I want to first of all just look at the state of football in this country, or football in general, and where football is going. As we can all see, and we're going to talk about capitalism here a lot. Football in the UK, especially the Premier League, has always benefited from having more money, right? Whether it's the TV licenses or whatever it is, the amount of money that goes into football in this country is crazy. It is insane. So this country has always attracted, arguably, well, not always, but nowadays will attract the best players, the players who want the most money. That is capitalism. That's what it is. It's a pyramid scheme where the elite are at the very top, sitting pretty, and the 99% of us are at the bottom trying to understand what the hell is going on. We are taken as idiots. Our resources are drained. Our capital is drained. It goes up to the billionaires. They keep our money, take our money, and they become richer and richer. That's capitalism. In football, it is no different. The teams with the most money are usually the most successful. And in today's football climate, let's call it that, many top clubs are now being bought by billionaires. That is clear to see. Everybody knows that. Everyone can see that. So what does that mean? It means that in order to continue competing at the highest level, you really want your club to be bought by a billionaire. You really do. Man City, Newcastle, and now other clubs are now being bought and now being run successfully by filthy rich owners. And if Manchester United do not, and listen, you can argue against capitalism and these structures and the way we live life all we like. That is not the subject of today. If we do not keep up with the changing times, Manchester United Football Club will be left behind. The best thing as fans that could happen to Manchester United Football Club is the Qataris buying the club, paying off the debt, investing in the absolutely shocking and deteriorating stadium, and injecting cash for transfers. Now, will that straight away make us compete with the likes of Man City, who have established a setup for the last 7, 8, 9 years? No. It's going to take time before we get to that level. But at least it will give us a start and give us a trajectory to hopefully achieve and get to that level. The best thing that could happen to us as fans of Manchester United Football Club is for the Qataris to have won. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. And the reason why that hasn't happened is because money talks. As fans, we don't really care about money. We just want to see our club win, be successful, and play good football. However, the owners of the club, and we can have a conversation about the Glazers all day. We don't need to get into how horrible they are. We just know they are. They're very, very greedy. They could have accepted the 5.5 to 6 billion bid, but they wanted more. And on paper, while the monetary amount of this Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid isn't as high as the Qatari bid, if we're going to extrapolate the fact that he's, I think, bidding up to about 2 billion, perhaps 1 to 2 billion for 25% stake, that is worth, if we're going to extrapolate that to 100%, worth around 8 billion. So in percentage terms, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid is more money. But in absolute terms, of course, the Qatari bid is more, is better. The Qatari bid would have done so much for us as fans, but the Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid, and if we are to hear, understand the stories that are coming out online, does not change much at all. Before I go any further and talk anything else, I'm just going to play you what Carvey has said on Sky today or yesterday about the Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid.
Jim Ratcliffe's deal to acquire 25% of Manchester United is moving closer, and he's got some big plans for the club.
Yeah, he has. He's proposed this as a three-man football committee at Old Trafford, which would consist of himself, Sir Dave Brailsford, and Joel Glazer.
Ineos, Jim Ratcliffe wanted in return for their £1.4 billion. They wanted control of all footballing matters. Now, that would seem a bit strange because they'd only have 25% of the shares. But that is what Jim Ratcliffe is insisting on. And I think he's likely to get that. And on that football committee, there would be Dave Brailsford. He works very closely with Jim Ratcliffe now on his sporting investments. Also, Joel Glazer, who is at the moment executive co-chairman of United, would be on this committee. But crucially, Ratcliffe would have control of this football committee. So he would be the one who would be calling the shots.
All right. Sir Jim Ratcliffe already calls the shots for Nice. And Nice are crap. Nice are crap So why is he making a committee with Joe Glazer? Why, after purchasing 25% of a club, does he want or thinks or expects full control or full sporting control? And why would we give him full sporting control knowing that the club that he already owns in France is not run very well and is not that successful? What are we doing here?
Ratcliffe's deal to acquire 25% of Manchester United.
Football committee would be the Glazers who would be in charge of that. But of course, Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos would have a say as well. This could be absolutely brilliant because Jim Ratcliffe is a very successful businessman. He's worth £30 billion. The other side, you could look at it, if you're being a bit more negative and cynical and pessimistic, you could say this could be a recipe for disaster.
So if Ratcliffe's deal goes through, Sir Dave Brailsford will have a significant role at the club. And no doubt he's had...
Okay. In my opinion, it will be a disaster. There is no mention about long-term plan, long-term investment into the stadium, into the players, into the club. And in fact, I've heard or the news or somebody online, and it depends on what source it's coming from, has stated that Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to address the wage and the structure, or at least he has transfer concerns, and he's already citing Casemiro as a reason to shake up Manchester United transfers. And I'm not going to lie, what does Sir Jim Ratcliffe know about football? What does this guy know about transfers? It seems to me that rather than creating a sustainable model, such as Man City with a director of football, nothing much will change. He will keep a Glazer on the board. And essentially, he's not a Manchester United fan. This is just a business deal. This is just him wanting to get more money and become richer. And that is it. He's going to sleep. He's going in bed with the Glazers. There is one man who wants to get rid of these evil succubuts, right? The Qatari. And there's another man, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who really just wants to go with the status quo. He doesn't want to radically change anything. He just wants to be part of this sucking of Man United's resources, the draining, the slow decline. He wants to get involved in that and make us, in my opinion, this is my opinion, it's only going to make us worse. It is only going to make us worse. And I do not understand for the life of me why there are some people now excited about this. The amount of spin that's going on in the media. There's a lot of people who started off saying Qatar is the best thing ever. And some of those same people are now saying this Jim Ratcliffe is the best thing ever. Now, I think a lot of the people who support Jim support him because he's English, maybe. There's some sort of xenophobia going on there, perhaps. I don't know. But there is no way on earth, if you are a Manchester United fan and you want the best for this football club, seeing and knowing the direction of football, seeing and knowing where all the clubs are going, including Newcastle, Man City, whatever, you cannot be happy with this announcement. It hasn't gone through yet. I think it's at the implementation stage, perhaps, where talks are still continuing and it's still yet to be signed on the dotted line. But it seems as if it will happen. And this is a very, very, very sad day for Manchester United. We're not playing well on the pitch. On the pitch, we are absolutely shocking. And that's another story. Most of my videos relate to us being, or relate to how we perform on the pitch. So most of my reactions are about, like I said, football. So we don't need to go into why we're so bad on the pitch and all these things, because I talk about that a lot already. But this is not giving me optimism for the future at all. And I'm pretty sure, just like the rest of you guys, you're a bit disillusioned, angry, frustrated, and there is no light at the end of this tunnel that I can see. There is none. And it's a shame that greed from the Glazers once again has come in the way of making or ensuring that this club is prosperous. I remember back in the day, Beckham, Giggs, the Man United that I fell in love with in my youth is not here anymore. It's gone. And the fans, the fan base, we are very easily brainwashed. We're very easily swayed. Sometimes I think we're way too comfortable in mediocrity. We don't challenge anything. We could easily protest, walk out of the stadium, all of these things. But there's one thing that they know. These guys, the elite, there's one thing that they know. Football is a religion. The demand for football is inelastic, which means no matter how much they raise the price or lower the price or whatever they do to us, they punch us in our faces, punch us in our guts, we're going to turn up at the football pitch. We're going to buy our season ticket. We're going to pour money into this Manchester United thing. No matter what they do to us, no matter how rubbish we are, they know they've got us for the rest of our lives, because football, especially in the UK, is so toxic, so tribal, so religious that they are going to get their money no matter what. They know that. And that's why they treat us like this. It is sad, and seeing the decline, the slow, painful decline of my football club. The football club that I love is painful. It's painful to watch, and it's painful to experience. Now, that's my opinion. From a financial standpoint, the Qatari bid is much better. From a fan standpoint, it would have been much better. So there's no, for me, positives in this Jim Ratcliffe approach over choosing Qatar. None. Let me know what your opinion of this is. For me, this is a bad day for Manchester United. Bad week for Manchester United. And I'm sad, and I hope there is some positive. I hope I'm missing something. I hope I'm just being pessimistic. But something tells me, looking back at the last 8, 9, 10 years, it's only going to get worse. Let me know what you guys think of this Sir Jim Ratcliffe guy. He says he's a Man United fan, but he was trying to buy every single club in the world. He even tried to buy Chelsea. Yeah. He's a businessman. That's it. The club that he owns in France is not well run, is not successful, and is not doing well. So why anybody believes that he is now going to turn that around and do well at Manchester United, I do not know. What he's proposing, that 3-man board thing, is a piece of crap. I saw online that he also mentioned, and I think I might be repeating myself, that he has transfer concerns about Manchester United's transfers. And he's already cited Casemiro. So the potential owner of Manchester United is already coming out publicly, apparently, quoting football players. This is not good. This is not good. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of this Sir Jim Ratcliffe thing. If I'm missing anything, please, guys, comment below. But for me, this is not good, and there's no positives. Okay, let's move on to Jadon. Now, I think I've already mentioned that I did not agree about Ten Hag's comments about Jadon, or agree with Ten Hag's comments about Jadon when he originally made them in a press conference, essentially saying he didn't try hard enough in training. And subsequently, Jadon Sancho has defended himself publicly in saying that I performed well in training, just as well as anyone else performed in training. So I'm being used as a scapegoat by the manager. The manager apparently has asked Jadon to apologize, and Jadon has refused to apologize. Now, this is where the camps are split. I see people online saying Jadon should just apologize and return. I see people online saying morals and ethics are the most important thing, and he's been used as a scapegoat, and the manager was unfair to dig him out the way he dug him out. So Jadon has a right to not apologize. And then I get people saying Jadon Sancho, it should be sold. And now it's coming out that the club are releasing statement after statement trying to ruin his reputation, trying to make it look like he is a really bad person, a really bad human being, trying to destroy his character in public in front of us all, just because he won't apologize? What? Listen, all I'm going to say to you guys is this. Whenever you see anything from the club or be reported from the club, question why. Because everything that comes out of the club is PR, right? Everything is PR. And we have to be careful how we swallow and digest PR. Some of us just want the PR to support our own bias anyway. So some people don't like Jadon. So when they hear negative things, it supports their bias that he is X, Y, and Z. But I don't understand how a kid like Jadon can now be called essentially lazy. That's essentially what the club is trying to portray him as. Someone who's mischievous, who misbehaves, and is also lazy. So I want to talk about the word lazy very, very quickly. I think the word lazy is a lazy word. I think the word lazy doesn't even exist. And the only reason why the word lazy exists is because they want us to work 11-hour days for 7 days a week. And if you miss one day, you get called lazy. If you rest, you get called lazy. Lazy doesn't make sense, or should I say lazy only makes sense in a capitalistic world, in a capitalistic mindset. Because as human beings, we're supposed to be born and live a happy life. If you want to laze around all day and then go to work for a few hours, that's fine. Funny I use the word laze around. Funny, right? That's not lazy. What is lazy? How can you call someone else lazy? Do you know his running stats? Unless you know he runs less than someone else. Unless you know that person runs 100k every match and that person runs 20k a match. Maybe then you can call him lazy. But what is lazy? Why do we use that word especially for people who look like this? Why do we always do that? The people who built the Western world on their backs, who look like me, the Pogbas of this world are always the players that are called lazy. I know they're not lazy. How can a man or a player, a young boy who looks like this, right, who was raised in a society in South Kensington, South London, which is not conducive, so he had to work very, very hard. Being a footballer is not easy. Being a footballer, it takes hours and hours and hours and hours of hard work to become a footballer. Not only did he have to beat his environmental circumstances to become a footballer, Jadon, he had to beat all the people who hated him because of this. He had to overcome. Listen, this kid at the age of 16, 17 was so opposite of lazy that he decided to leave the country to play football in Germany. The same people that are screaming and sucking off Jude Bellingham for doing it didn't care when Jadon did it. Jadon left this country as a child, right, to play football in a country he's never been before, to prove himself, because he didn't want to sit and be lazy on the bench. He wanted to play football. That's all he wants to play. And he's been called lazy. How can that be? How can that be? How can he literally be busting his gut for 3 years in Germany, trying to prove himself, only to come here and be called lazy? How does that manipulation of your brain work? How does the PR get into your head that you call Paul Pogba lazy? How does it work? It doesn't make any sense. The way that Jadon has been scapegoated is absolutely disgusting. He's not the reason why we lost against Arsenal. He's not the reason why Onana is fumbling the goals. He's not the reason why that Rashford and Bruno are playing crap. He hasn't played in the last 4 or 5 games. Yet he is the one that gets the most hate online from all the Manchester United fans who just gobble up all the negative PR about the kid who plays computer games at 1 o'clock in the morning. So what? And even if in a training session he wasn't running as much as, I don't know, Hannibal or whatever, these guys don't play in his position. They don't play in Jadon is a winger. They don't play in his position. So are you telling me that because he didn't run 100 kilometers in 95 seconds and you think he's not putting an effort in training, you're going to flip and take him out not just take him out of the team, take him out of the whole match day squad and essentially prevent yourself from having an option of bringing him on? Ten Hag's stubbornness is, for me, a bit sickening. And the worst thing about the whole Jadon Sancho thing, for me, is the whole apology thing. The whole apology thing sounds as if... It just doesn't sound right. It's like, apologize or we'll beat you. This guy is getting flogged in front of everybody and he's basically receiving a town beating, a town flogging. That's what this is. Manchester United Football Club are saying, apologize, and if you don't apologize, we're going to beat you up. We're going to tell people all these negative things about you and we're going to destroy you. How does that help Jadon? How does it help Ten Hag? How does it help the football club? It helps neither. Why is this even made public? Why are we even talking about it publicly? Why are the football club, even today and yesterday, releasing negative news about Jadon? We haven't even heard about him for the last week because we've been on international duty, international break. But right before the weekend, United now are just leaking things to the media about Jadon being sold and all of these things. It is like, why? Why can't you keep that in-house? Why do you need to keep trying to tear this guy down? Now, you can talk about Jadon. He should just apologize. I don't agree. He should just apologize. If your manager is using you as a scapegoat and taking the mickey and abusing you, morals come first. Morals and ethics come first. Jadon is standing up for himself because he's the only one that can do that. Right? He's not going to back down for money or to be quiet to get back in the team. He does not want to play for this manager. And personally, based on the football that we are playing, I don't blame him. Jadon is not a pace and power merchant. The type of football that this manager wants to play is not conducive for intelligent footballers who want to play possession football like Jadon. You want runners above him, runners go beyond him, overlaps, underlaps. He needs fluidity. He needs movement. He's a footballer who can control the ball, has a deft touch. He's very technically gifted. We've seen him at his best and we've also seen him at his worst. The way that Ten Hag wants to play this quick transition, isolate your fullbacks, do step overs and beat your fullbacks. That type of like 1980s football that Ten Hag is trying to implement doesn't work for people like Jadon, for people like Martial. For our technically gifted footballers, it does not work. It doesn't. And that's the direction that the club seems like they're going. I think this is the end for Jadon. I can't see any way back. I don't see Ten Hag leaving, and I think that's the only way that Jadon can come back. He is on a lot of money, and even though I'm defending Jadon, he hasn't performed to the best of his ability in a lot of games. But if you can tell me one player, and this is what Jadon is saying, Rashford can play rubbish game after game after game. He's played 6 games and he's been appalling in all of the games. At least 6 games. So has Bruno. So has many other players. Anthony, who is Ten Hag's son, clearly gets played all the time. Jadon is saying this: I have one bad game and I get taken out of the team and you don't see me again for a month. Other players can play bad game after game after game. I'm being used as a scapegoat. We lost against Arsenal, and the first thing the manager could say is talk about me negatively and move the heat away from himself to Jadon. I did not like that at all. So it's a shame that we never really got to see the best of Jadon. I hope that wherever he goes, whether he goes back to Dortmund on loan or whatever, hope he can find happiness and hope he can regain back his form and just start playing football again, because all the guy wants to do is play football. And I just want United fans just to be careful. When you see news about players being lazy and all these things, just ask yourself, why is this being released? Where is it coming from? And what purpose does it serve? What purpose does it serve? Just ask yourself these questions. And you'll probably find a reason. Everything that is said online, from everything that comes out of the club, is PR, and it's done for a specific reason. It's as simple as that. Now, I hope, like I said, Sancho does find something. I don't think his future at Man United is going to be at Man United. I think that's clear. And like I said, I'm not going to come here and be one of those people who hate the kid, because I know how good the kid is. I've seen him play well for Manchester United. I've seen him win games for us. I've seen him come on and change games. And I've seen what he's done in pre-season. In pre-season, he was arguably our best player in pre-season, but he couldn't get a game ahead of fucking Garnacho. And you want me to sit here and it's just, I feel for him. I do feel for the kid. And that is just my stance on it. I know a lot of you are going to disagree. I know a lot of you are going to say, he hasn't played well, get him out of the club, this and that. A lot of emotions, a lot of anger towards him, especially after missing the penalty for England. But I just want you guys to just stop and think, why are some players allowed to play rubbish all the time? Why can't we play a more possession-based football game? Why? Why not? And the thing is, Jadon Sancho, the thing about Ten Hag, I don't think Ten Hag's in the last very long at Man United. I don't think he has a players back in as much as we believed he did. And if you are, because what we need to understand is that the players, right, they have a greater relationship with each other than they do with the manager, right? Just like any other workplace, you are probably closer to your colleagues than you are to your manager. And they've all seen how Sancho has been treated. So they're either very scared for themselves or they're not happy. Either way, this is what I'm talking about. Look at Rashford's face. Look at their faces. There is a deep unhappiness, clearly. The way that the players are performing, it seems as if they're not fully playing for the manager. And if, as a manager, you're horrible to Cristiano Ronaldo, you're horrible to this player, you're throwing Sancho under the bus, and if all these players have seen this, what do you think they're going to start thinking? How do you think they're going to start feeling if you're seeing the manager lie, say one thing in the media, and say something completely different behind scenes, or vice versa? You're going to start thinking, this guy is not authentic. This guy's a liar. I can't trust this guy. I think we're in danger. I think United are in free fall at the moment. And I can't see any positives right now. I just can't. Apparently, Serie A, Bundesliga, and Turkish clubs are in for Jadon, which is good. But you can see why I don't really talk about these sort of topics, and I prefer just to focus on the football match. I don't like talking about transfer news, who's owned who's this and that, all these feelings and emotions and all these heated topics. I prefer to stay away because, one, these things are forever changing every day. And that means I'm going to have to keep doing a video every single day when it changes. And that's just tiring. And two, I'm a football guy. I just want to watch football. I just want to watch good football. I don't really care about the transfer news. Just let me know when we bought the player. You know? I don't get the dopamine rush that everyone else gets when they're talking about all of these things. Flipping heck. What do you guys think about the Jadon thing? Like I said, I know a lot of you guys will disagree with me, but I'm an ethical person first and foremost. I am. And it's someone, I don't care who he is, who it is, if it is my manager taking an absolute mick, I'm going to stand up for myself. And this whole apologize or we'll stop beating you up, it doesn't feel right. I don't understand why you guys can't see it. All he has to do is apologize for sticking up for himself. That doesn't make any sense. Sometimes morals and ethics are more important than money. I know a lot of you guys in this capitalistic world can't see that, and you will throw your morals and your ethics out the window for £1,000. But clearly that's not Jadon. And that is why I like Jadon. And that is why I like Pogba. These sort of players have morals and ethics that they would not put down to be abused by anybody. You know? And yeah, I'm with Jadon. I'm with Jadon on this. Unfortunately, like I said, he is not probably going to be in the club for the short term, maybe not for the long term, but you know, cool. Have your stance. And if that's your stance, Jadon, if you're going to keep that stance, then cool. I understand. I definitely understand. But that's my opinion on the matters. I hope I've articulated myself well. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to be back properly just reviewing football matches. It's my thing, you know. But I just thought I'd give my 2 cents on this whole matter, on this whole Sancho matter, and this Jim Ratcliffe stupid decision by the Glazers to sell 25% to Jim. Crazy. It's crazy. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. I will see you guys probably tomorrow. I'll see you guys Saturday after the game when I'll do my match reaction and my match analysis. Have a good time. Peace out. If you're not